Welcome back, folks. Today we're diving into a story that will make you double check your rear view and slow down when you see a wall of fog creeping up. This is a story of a catastrophe so massive and so chaotic that it completely changed the way people drive in Canada. This is the story of the September 3rd, 1999 Highway 401 pileup. It's one of the most devastating crashes in Ontario's history. So hit that subscribe button and let's dive into it. It all begins early on a Friday morning around 8 a.m. when commuters and truckers were cruising down the stretch of Ontario's Highway 401, the busiest highway in North America. It's a familiar route, a place where people know the rhythm of the road until that day. Because on September 3rd, a thick, dense fog started to roll in. But this wasn't your typical morning mist. This was a blinding, suffocating fog that reduced visibility to just 1 meter. And here's the kicker. The Windsor Airport Observation Station, which was supposed to detect this fog, had a malfunction and no warning was given. People drove right into the belly of the beast. Now, imagine this: a tractor-trailer driver, just a regular guy doing his morning run, suddenly finds himself engulfed in a wall of fog so dense he can't see anything beyond his windshield. He hits the brakes trying to slow down, but another truck driver just behind him doesn't have enough time to react. The second truck slams into the back of the first, and that's all it takes. A spark that ignites a chain reaction involving 87 vehicles. That's right, 87 vehicles ended up piled together in this fog-induced disaster. People were trapped in their cars, not knowing what was coming next, as more and more vehicles crashed into the wreckage. The chaos was relentless. And here's another strange and haunting detail. This all happened on both sides of the highway, but totally separate. There were collisions going on in both directions, but despite that, no vehicles actually crossed the median. It's almost as if the crash was contained to each side, but it was still absolute mayhem. In total, 8 lives were lost and 45 others were injured. In the aftermath, the Ministry of Transportation knew they had to do something. The crashes on this stretch of the highway weren't a new phenomenon. This was just the deadliest of a series of accidents that had been happening throughout the 90s. The fog on the 401 had earned a reputation, and this pileup was the final straw. Officials installed safety features like paved shoulders and rumble strips. Police patrols increased, and money was pumped into trying to make this highway safer. And here's where it gets interesting. The Canadian Automobile Association wasn't convinced. They even hired traffic experts to investigate, and what they found was disturbing. The grassy median separating the lanes wasn't enough. They recommended a concrete barrier and an expansion of the highway to 6 lanes. This idea was floated back in the 1990s, but it was dismissed. There just wasn't enough traffic or money at the time to make it happen. It took another 5 years after the crash before a $322 million project was finally approved to overhaul this stretch of the 401. It wasn't completed until 2010, over a decade later. And while the improvements were finally made, it makes you wonder, how many other lives could have been saved if these changes happened sooner? Stories like these remind us that roads we travel every day can hold hidden dangers, ones that might not show themselves until it's too late. So next time you're out there, keep your eyes open. And remember, sometimes it's not just the road ahead you need to watch. Sometimes it's the things you can't see coming. Thanks for tuning in. Drive safe, folks.